I can assure you the biggest investors in Nigerian creativity have not been Nigerian. And that is a painful thing to have to accept.
Obi Asika is one of the architects of Nigeria's creative revolution, a cultural pioneer turned policy strategist. From building Storm Records and shaping Afrobeats' first wave to driving national arts and culture policy, he's bridged the worlds of entertainment, technology, and governance.
Burna Boy has been for at least 2 years the biggest African musician in the world. I can't buy anything Burna Boy. That's not music. Doesn't make sense. Where's the Burna Boy product? Rihanna sold 300 million records. She's not a billionaire because that. She's a billionaire because of Fenty. How many female superstars do we have in Nollywood that have over 10 million followers? Where's their product?
So I think a lot of people are complaining that there's no financing for it.
Have they tried? You know that gaming is the biggest sector of the entertainment industry worldwide. It's bigger than music, it's bigger than film, it's bigger than everything. So the biggest entertainment releases all time are all games. These are things that are making $1 billion in 3 days of release. They're making serious money. But guess what? There are really no black games. So who's got the original black stories? Us. Every great civilization in the modern era has its soft power going ahead of it.
Yeah.
Brazil came first with the football. Jogo Bonito is the original soft power. Hollywood, the Cowboys and Indians, number 2. The UK, Shakespeare. The Olympics is about soft power. Why does a country spend $1 billion to host the Olympics? That's why I tell you, Nigerian soft power is just beginning.
What is Nigeria's soft power?
It's very simple.
So guys, I mean, like I say on every episode that comes out of this platform is one episode better than the other one, because we are committing to always bring you better conversations. But one of the ways you could always do to support us, something you could always do to support us, is to like, share, comment, and also make sure you subscribe, because when you subscribe, it gives our channel greater value on the platform and the algorithm, and it allows more people want to come on the conversation. So on today's conversation, I will be having, I think I will consider him one of the OGs of Nigeria creative sector. Yeah, I mean, I think he has written the scripts that we call the business of creative economy. He has been one of them that has done this. And he's currently the Director General of the Nigeria Center for Arts and Culture. And we'll be diving into conversations about the creative economy, things that drives it, lessons learned. I mean, it promises to be a wonderful episode. So join us on this particular episode. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Join me, welcome the one and only Obi Asika.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I mean, I struggled, like I told you earlier, in trying to come up with questions or drive conversations on this episode, because when I read your profile, I was a bit like, where do you start from? And so I said I was going to ask you this question. What have you not done?
I don't have an honorary PhD yet. I haven't earned a doctorate yet. I don't have $1 billion or 100 million. I'm trying to think. There's quite a lot of stuff I haven't done.
Okay.
But, we're happy with what we've done so far. We're still pushing.
So, I mean, there are a lot of youngins, right, who see you now. I think someone met me during TMCon when you came. And the person was like, oh, that man, Mr. Obi Asika, what did he say he does again? I'm like, you don't know who he is? So I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot you guys are young. I forgot there's a lot of Gen Z and the rest. So, but I mean, on a simple, how do you define yourself nowadays? Because I think to us, you've evolved. Like, you keep evolving. Like, we grew up seeing the work you've done before we even know. I mean, I knew Storm Records, I knew your TV shows, but I know you went way back. You were someone that reversed jackpot, what we call jackpada.
Oh, that's the word?
Yeah, that's the Yoruba word, yeah.
Japada, I like that. Yeah. I mean, look, it all depends. Life is about perspective, right? So people engage you where they meet you. And a lot of times as well, people's expectations are also based on their own exposure.
Yeah.
So some of us are blessed. We've had full exposure. So my expectations are not limited by anything. I was blessed by my parents to not reduce or diminish my essence as a Black person or as a Nigerian, which I see a lot of people do. which is what that then means is that they have put in a box what they think that the extent of the possibilities that exist for them.
Really?
Right? Yeah, definitely. And whereas the way I was raised by my parents, I knew from birth we were world class. I already knew. I didn't have to be told. I didn't go anywhere ever feeling lesser or defensive about who I am. Right? So I tell people all the time, if I was born again, I choose to be black and Nigerian. I'm perfectly happy with that. Some people are chasing white ancestry. We're happy to be black. Do you understand? Well, it's a state of mind.
So what do you think was responsible for that?
For what? For the way I was?
Yes.
My parents, 200%. My parents were black radicals. And that's basically the philosophy. So I think it's a sense of self. Having self-awareness, knowing who you are, where you're from, and that it has value. And that I don't need your validation to give myself value. Right? I know where I'm from. When I took my title in 1994, my Ozo title in Onitsha, my male ancestors have taken the title on that land for 600 years. There's nothing going to tell me. Do you understand? So I already know who I am. I have my bloodline is 600 years. The 27 or 26 Obis of Onitsha, 22 are my direct bloodline. But I don't walk around calling myself Prince. But I am a prince. Such is life. Do you understand? True nobility does not need to announce itself. It just is. It is what it is. You understand?
Wow.
Yeah.
So but how was your journey into the creative and arts, creative economy? Like for you yourself, I mean, we've known you, but I mean, I never really know the origin story.
The origin story, you got to pay money for that. No, I think, the honest truth, it still goes back to the parents because, growing up the way I grew up, I was born in Lagos. I grew up in Enugu. Best days of my life. 042, unbelievable place, clean and green, cosmopolitan. I didn't know anything about tribes when I was growing up. I didn't know there was this Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. I just had friends from all over Nigeria. They were always in Enugu. There were white people, Spanish, Italian, Swiss, Germans, all over the shop. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I didn't grow up with this, what I see, a lot of the energy I see today. People pushing those agendas. And to me, tribalism is just like racism. It's the same moronic approach to life.
Yeah.
I don't deal with tribalistic people. I don't deal with racist people. These are choices I made a long time ago. So I have friends and brothers who are from all places. And they're my family. And to be family is not about blood. To be family is about your journey, your values. So I have family everywhere. But we don't take nonsense. Do you understand? So just because you're my family doesn't give you the right to be whatever. You know? So I think for me, again, it still goes back to the parents. I still remember as a kid, my father would give us reading lists. If I come on holiday, I have 30 books I have to read every month.
Wow.
30 books isn't a joke. And the worst part about it at the time was he would not want to talk about the book with you after you've read it. And the man would be saying things like, in page 87, chapter 6, when he says this, I'll be looking at this guy like, when did you read this book? He'll be telling me, read it 22 years before. I said, how the hell do you remember what the hell happened on page 87? So that generation had a different kind of memory retention, a different kind of relationship with literature, right? Because although a lot of people say this generation doesn't read, I say it's not true. They read on their phones, they read on their laptops, they read on their devices all the time. They're probably reading more than any generation before them. They just don't necessarily reading the way we read, right? So but having that exposure, early exposure to understand that, and that's the way I grew up. I grew up understanding and believing and still believing that the intellectual is the highest part of society. The intellect. Those who express creativity through their intellect, to me, are the highest forms of humanity. So I have much more respect and intrigue and admiration for the artists than I have for the billionaires and the dictators. Do you understand? Being the head of state is great, but hey, listen, man, Shakespeare is incredible.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The storytellers, the writers, the authors, the musicians, the painters, the artists. I don't think there's anything more powerful than that. And I still think that the highest, although people associate me with music, I know that film to me is the highest form of artistic expression. Because,
really?
Yes, definitely. Because when I look at, if you look at something like Lord of the Rings, which is an incredible book, but then look at what Peter Jackson did with that book. You go into New Zealand, this small little island and creating that whole world in the trilogy and raising the money to shoot 3 movies at the same time, right? Something never been done before. Turn that country's economy around. New Zealand had a foreign, tourism to New Zealand, people going there to shoot movies, billions of dollars because of one guy, one decision. I want to shoot this movie in New Zealand. I'm taking it halfway around the world. And he had never even made a big budget movie before that movie. Yeah, no, nobody had given him any big budget. But he collected like $100 and something million. And when I shot 3 movies at the same time, and shot 3 of the greatest movies that you will ever see.
Yeah.
And when you look at what he shot, look at the worlds he created, if you've read the books, then sometimes you have to marvel that I read that book, I didn't see this. Do you understand? So that's why I think that film is limitless in terms of the interpretation or reinterpretation of what was the written word. And of course, almost everything in creativity starts with the writing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's like, of course, maybe except for visual art. But even sometimes with visual art, the artist was done a note to themselves what they want to paint about, what they want to express. So for me, that creativity is God-given. You know that when you hear a great musician, he can't really tell you where the melodies came from. Some will tell you it comes from God. Some will tell you it comes from an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
But the connection between music and human beings, between the emotional connect that happens when you hear a song you love and the endorphins that it releases, nobody can tell you how that happens, right? It just happens. And then some people call it, you can break down and say you're chasing a hit record.
Yeah.
But when you chase a hit record, you never get it.
You never do.
It doesn't happen. You just have to let it happen, which means sometimes you have to have the patience of Job. You have to maybe wait a lifetime. So sometimes you have people that say there's a one-hit wonder, right? Or somebody's made a movie that made incredible money one time, can never make a movie again, right? Maybe because the thing they were supposed to contribute was that one thing.
And that's it.
And that's it. But, that's the risk. The reward and the risk and extreme creativity is that it is so difficult. And I think that's one of the things people don't understand and don't give respect to, that it is so difficult to make a song, one song that anybody likes, let alone 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. Now you're getting into, it's unbelievable. Do you understand? I can tell you that when I was a kid, we weren't thinking about any of our artists being mainstream fully. This is long before I got into the business. It didn't even seem like a possibility. How's it going to happen? Based on what, right? And a lot of Nigerians have been locked inside Nigeria their whole lives. They don't have a real perspective of the world. It's a white world, right? Black culture may set the trends, and it has set the trends for music, culture, fashion for the last 50 years in America. But that doesn't mean we got the benefits. Yeah. Most of the time, we didn't get the benefits. Most of the time, we didn't have ownership. Most of the time, we didn't have equity. Most of the time, we didn't have leverage. And let me just tell you, the African-American doesn't have leverage. The African is way down the value chain.
The value chain.
You haven't even started because you haven't even had the conversation.
Yeah, because you're just the performer.
Well, being a performer is even if they allow you on stage. Some of us were talking for years, but it's not about going to the Grammys. When are we going to have a guy on the Grammy stage? It's just 2 years ago with Burner. Do you understand? So there are gatekeepers and then there are gatekeepers.
But what was your own spark like to get into the business?
I think I just always was in it, in the sense that even growing up, I was around it all the time. My father was in public office and he used these tools in public office. I just didn't understand that's what he was doing. So there are things he did that, you take it for granted, but years later, it's still a massive brand. So when he created Enugu Rangers at the end of the Civil War, it's still the biggest brand in Nigerian football. It's still totally connected to the hearts and souls of all Igbo people, right? Because it represents something. And he knew exactly what he was doing at the time, but he didn't put his name in front of it. He didn't put his ego in front of it. What did he do? He just created it, enabled it, made sure that they paid for everything that people were doing, paid for the strategy, paid for the staff, paid for the players, paid for the coaches. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every single year, took some of the best players, sent them to America on sports scholarships. Do you understand? Sent them global, right? And in doing that, you give confidence to your people. You just supposedly lost a civil war, but suddenly you come out of the war and you win everything. That gives you confidence back. Do you understand? So when we talk about soft power now, he was doing it in 1970, 1971. It hadn't even been created as a philosophy at Harvard University yet. Do you understand? So just to let you know, innovation doesn't just come out of America. It comes right out of here.
That's true.
Of course.
That's true. I mean, I think one of the things, speaking about soft power, I think when you guys started Storm Records, I think that was the beginning of a new renaissance in terms of African music, Africans actually owning their music within...
Well, I mean, to be fair, look, the first time when we first started, which is 1991, right, so 34 years ago, we were just a small hip-hop label, just a bunch of guys. I called 3 of my friends and I said, let's do this thing. My father loaned us the money. The 4 of us signed for the money. It was 300,000 naira in 1991, which is a lot of money at the time, right? And the first thing we actually did was a club called Enter the Dragon, which was on the 8th floor of Western House on Broad Street. Yeah. And I remember the first night, the opening night. If you've ever run a club before, run an event, you know that feeling before the event when you're there by yourself and nobody has shown up. So like 9 p.m., we're all panicking. Like, man, Jesus Christ, maybe nobody's gonna come. Because it's not like now. Now you have social media. You stick one thing on your WhatsApp and blast it. 10,000 people have seen it. You put it on Facebook, 100,000 people have seen it. You could put it anywhere. It's the easiest thing in the world to promote. To make a flyer in 1991, and let me tell you, you're going to cut out letters from the newspaper. We're going to paste it together with glue. We're going to design the thing, make it like, I mean, it was a whole process. Do you understand? Get the physical flyer. Then now we're doing strategy, like, okay, I've got people coming back from London for the summer. How do I get this flyer to London so that when they come back, they already know about it, right? Yeah. And I got universities like Ibadan, Nsukka, Jos, all these people that we know will be coming into Lagos that summer. How do we hit them up? Then you got the Lagos people. Then you got the DJs. People were arguing with me. Why'd you put the DJ's name on the flyer? I said, because in the future, if you don't have the DJ's name, you won't get anybody. But in 1991, it's like, why are you doing it? I said, because I'm a DJ myself and I understand. So I had Jimmy Jat. Jimmy Jat was Enter the Dragon with us. Do you understand? Andy Abangu, who moved to Abuja early, like 93, was up with DJ Howie T, who discovered P Square. Howie T and GMG, whose sister is Peace Ayamosigwe, who's ex-wife. So Greg is also a co-founder of AMA. I always say something, we don't understand the role of DJs. Greg is a co-founder of AMA. Howie discovered Howie T. Jimmy discovered everybody. I'm a DJ as well. So you take those 4 DJs, you add Bola Fresh Wave, you got a serious thing happening because within that circle, we're hearing everything, we're seeing everything. Now it's a function of who's really pushing what. I remember we're recording in Agos Studios in 1991, early 92, with Junior and Pretty, who are pretty much the prototype sound of what is today's Afrobeats. And as we're doing this recording, I'm telling the producers, a guy called Sam Ababo Jr., his father was a professor of mathematics, used to commentate on football, and Sam's doing the production loops. And I'm like, Sam, the beats aren't hard enough, man. You just sample those drums from KRS-One. You just sample that bass line from Shabba Ranks, put it on the beat. He's arguing with me. I said, no, man, double bass the thing. It's too tinny. The sound is too tinny. This is hip-hop. It's got to be heavy. This is the kind of arguments we're having. I'm like, I need to get Jimmy into the studio to scratch the loop and make that thing real in the loop and the break. And I'm like, no, that's not how we do it. That's how we're doing it. So we did a lot of things that had never been done before, and we continue to do things that haven't been done before. So we've been innovating a long time. Everything we did, they said it wasn't possible. All my friends were laughing. What are you guys doing? You're wasting time. You're wasting your time with these people. Why are you wasting your time with these Nigerians? I beg. I said, don't worry. Nobody's saying we're wasting time today.
Wait, but you really bet in early. What did you see?
I saw the fact that we're Nigerians. We are different. If you don't know that, I can't help you. But Nigerians have incredible capacity. And if you activate them and give them a platform, nothing stops them. And I knew that from birth. I saw it myself in my family. I saw my own people. I didn't need to be told that. But some people need to hear it. And I always tell people, when people ask me about what's the secret behind Afrobeats, the secret behind Afrobeats is the minute people realized, the minute that someone like D'banj realized that I could be D'banj and win, it was a wrap. Nato C can be Nato C and win. Doesn't have to be Jay-Z, can be himself. That's it. So that once that happens, they're saying, like, hey, wait a second, I'm enough. We are enough. And guess what? We are enough. Plus, there's a lot of us. Do you understand? So when you combine that, if you combine the confidence, right, and you begin to, of course, you've got to work on your game. You've got to work on your music, your delivery, your performance. But once you are focused and you have the real talent, the truth of the matter is nothing can stop you. And I think that's really my message, even to young Nigerians today. You hear so many things, and I look at them and I'm like, man, I wish you'd been around here in 1990. You'd have thought there was no hope for anything, right? But hey, I wish I was 21 today. Oh my God, can you imagine the opportunities? I'm 21 and I already saw burners in Wembley Stadium, and Wiz has been in O2. Super Eagles have already won the Olympic gold. Are you kidding me?
That would break up any limits. There's
no limit. There's nothing. There is no limitation to what a Nigerian can achieve, and we see it every single day. You see it in sports, in music, in media, in entertainment, in literature, art, fashion, cuisine, and nothing's ever going to stop all that stuff. That's why I tell you, Nigerian soft power is just beginning.
So what is Nigeria's soft power?
What is it? Well, look, it's very simple. Soft power is, in essence, the power of suasion. So you have hard power. Maybe I should start there. Hard power is the military-industrial complex. That's really the way in which the world was built and developed: industrialization, the military, and that whole side of manufacturing, heavy-duty industries, oil and gas, infrastructure. That is where most nations have industrialized. Soft power is how you take the world. So the Americans took the world with Levi jeans and cowboys and cowboy movies. So the Russians, when the Russians were doing 1989 and breaking down the Berlin Wall, the thing they wanted more than anything else was McDonald's. So it was lifestyle they were chasing, right? That if you're looking across the wall and you're saying, you're in East Germany and you're suffering, right? You ain't getting nothing. You're not having a good time. You're not getting access to the concerts. And there's a wall right here, and right over the other side of the wall, they're living in like Hollywood. You're going to do everything you can to get across that wall.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 movies made about crossing the Berlin Wall. But today, nobody thinks about it because they didn't have the experience of it, right? But there was a wall that split a country in half, right down the middle, all the way back to Poland and the whole thing, the Iron Curtain. It was real, right? So this is based on human philosophy and social sciences. But I think the key thing that Nigerian power represents, or soft power represents, is the talent, the creativity, and the innovation of the Nigerian people and how they express it through visual arts, through sculptures, through their history, their legacies, their mythology, the stories, really the stories. And the stories are told in many different ways, through music, through film, through fashion, through food, through sports. So that's Nigerian soft power.
So someone's sitting down by the sideline asking, like, what's this whole creative industry about? Why are we even having a focus on it now? What's the rave all about now? I mean, literally, we have...
They're asking, they're not serious. I don't even have time for people like that. If you don't understand it's a $25 billion industry now, not potential, I can't help you. It's 100 sectors. It is the sector that has the opportunity to employ the most Nigerians. It's a sector that gives the most Nigerians the opportunity for economic growth and self-actualization. That's why it's important. It's one of the biggest business sectors on the planet. It has an opportunity to be at $250 billion by 2035. There's nothing more important that we do. You can sit there all day and build infrastructure, but if you don't have content to push through your digital platforms, the platform is dead. Do you understand? So you can spend $100 billion building a telco network, but if you have no content, there's no revenue.
Yeah, because people need to use their data to consume something. They need to...
The only business of the telco is distribution at this point in time, right? Every other thing, voice is dead, content is the king. So content, they'll tell you content is the new crude. It's not new, it's always been, right? It's just that we didn't take it like that, we didn't understand. A lot of Nigerians are still sort of locked into this old school philosophy, like as if, these things are not important. What do you spend your money on? What does the average human being spend his money on? It's everything that we do. 99% of your disposable income is going on, that's where it's going, right? And because that's where it's going, it's not because it's not important, it's because it's how you live. You know, like what happens when your Google store gets cut off and you suddenly can't get online? People start panicking.
Yeah.
Your data finishes. Nobody waits to tell anybody any long stories. They refresh the data immediately because you need to be connected now. Imagine living a whole 2 days offline in 2025. You're going to feel like, what happened? You know, like you're missing messages, you're missing something, you're losing money. Something is wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think that the short version of the answer to the question is that we are in a situation in this country, and then now I'm speaking to bankers, financiers, regulators, the investment people, where if we don't invest in ourselves, we should not complain about anything. Do you understand? If you're not ready to take a bet on Nigerians, what's the conversation? What else are we talking about? Is there anything more important than the citizens?
No.
Thank you. So that's the only thing you need to know. This sector is about the people. That's what it's about. It's about Nigerian creativity is about the expression of the individual Nigerians. And if you activate Nigerian creativity at scale, which is our whole objective, I don't know, man. The numbers are already crazy without any real plan. There's 1.2 million Nigerian channels on YouTube with 100,000 subscribers. Just think about that. 1.2 million individual channels with 100,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of influence. That's a lot of reach. And really what we're about is how do you move this influence to capital? That's the real conversation. They're already monetizing, but you know, YouTube is micro monetization. So what are the other streams of revenue? Where's the sweet spot?
Where's the sweet spot?
Well, that's what we're here for. People like Salah are finding it every day. And I think those are the people that people need to be holding on to, right? The advertising industry, they know. There's a reason why you see the advertising industry, they don't play. You know, they don't play with some of the influencers.
Yeah.
It's not a game anymore. Before, 5 years ago, maybe now, today, 2025, all the leverage is with the influencer. It's like if you look at Bollywood, the Bollywood model is almost on the hero model.
Yeah.
The star model. That's Afrobeats, right? Where you know the artist, you don't know the label.
Yeah.
In Bollywood, you know the superstar, you don't know the film production company. Same thing that came out of China. People like Jackie Chan. Beyond Golden Harvest, that was making 80% of the films, we didn't know anybody else. But there's a couple of others that made a couple $100 million, making all those Snake in the Eye, Monkey Shadow, and all those films. That's what it is, right? Because if you check every great civilization in the modern era has its soft power going ahead of it.
Yeah.
Brazil came first with the football. Brazilian football is, Jogo Bonito is the original soft power. Hollywood, the Cowboys and Indians, number 2, right? The UK, Shakespeare, rest of it. When you go to the Olympics is about soft power. Why does a country spend $1 billion to host the Olympics? And bring everybody there. It's about expressing that. If you go to the beginning of the London Olympics in 2012, what are they telling you? They're telling you about Chaucer, Shakespeare. They're telling you that London's been the capital of culture for 600 years, 700 years. It's not new. We didn't start today. That's who we are. And in doing that, that's how we've generated all the revenue, made all the money. And this is also where Africans miss the point. Africans will be talking about, you're speaking grammar. I said, bro, that grammar is what they call narrative. And narrative is what has kept you where you are. Because they have defined our narrative for 500, 600, 700 years. And we find ourselves locked into these things and we can't unlock ourselves. So, you know, some people talk about the dual identity or the duality of being African, which is the essence of your African side and then the foreign religion that was imposed on you, right? And then you see that conflict. Those that become born-again Muslim, born-again Christian, abandon their African side and then start pointing fingers. And I'm like, listen, where I'm from, we're older than Jesus. That's just a fact of life. It's not blasphemous. It's a fact of life. If you go to Ledger in Nsukka, right? Ledger is the first place possibly on planet Earth where iron ore existed 2,500 years ago. That means the first place on earth that man controlled metal is there, right here. Nog terracotta, 7,000 years old. What year are we in? 2025. So 2,500 years is 500 years before Jesus. Do you get what I'm saying? So when we talk about ancient, we are the origins.
Yeah.
That's the name of my platform, by the way, that we're coming with. Origins. We're the origins because we're the beginning. And when people say the beginning, I find that Europeans like to reduce it, or people reduce it to, oh, you're the first man. You're not just the first man. You're the first science, the first mathematics, the first astrology, the first technology, the first everything, medicine, music, culture. It's all us. Now, the question is, if you become aware of that information, what do you do with it and how do you use it to activate yourself in a modern context? And that, again, comes back to technology, right? If you look at a masquerade, for example, I remember when Web 3.0 really began and the NFTs and people were going off about all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was trying to understand NFTs. And one of the great, great young talents we have in this country, an artist called Anthony Azekwo. And Anthony, I just met him, and Anthony was like, showed me some stuff, and I was just looking at this stuff. I'm thinking, this kid is 22. This is incredible. And him and another guy called Osinachi, who did a collab with Don Jazzy, and Osinachi is incredibly talented. He's done stuff with David Bowie's estates. He's done a lot of stuff worldwide. And these guys were showing me this stuff, and I asked a question to one of the people who was trying to take me through the NFTs, and I said, listen, so what you're talking about is about how the sort of fractal ownership, so everybody gets a piece, then you at 10% for the artist or the creator in perpetuity every time you sell. So of course, that is a big progression from what happens with real art. Because real art, you don't have residual royalties, right? So Ben Nwangu's estates his family don't get pieces when they sell for $1 million. They sold for £3,000 30 years ago, or £300. But today, they're not getting a piece. But if it was an NFT, they'd be getting a piece. Yeah. So technology solves some problems that we all have in certain creative spaces. But I think the biggest thing of all is the fact that we have so much content that we haven't even touched, right? We haven't even touched. So I think Nigeria stands at the cusp of the beginning of the age of creativity for us.
In Africa?
In Nigeria. And of course, Nigeria drives Africa. We're already big, right? We already have all these things, but guess what? Intentionality is key. So this president must be commended for the fact of setting up this ministry and appointing this minister, allowing her to pick her team. And we have a strong team, and we're intentional, and we're building a roadmap that will take us to $250 billion, with or without government. And that's the beautiful thing, because when your government energizes a space and creates leverage, it affects everybody in a positive way. So the IP collateralization that is coming means that in the age of ideas, Nigeria will be a player.
Can you tell us about the IP collateralization?
Well, what it basically is that if you look at the IP centers of the world,
America being like a headquarters right now.
I don't even know if America's headquarters. England is the first.
Okay.
Yeah. Shakespeare, Chaucer, Dickens, those guys. That's IP. That's all that literature has monetized for 250 years, 400 years. How did it monetize? Is the exploitation of the intellectual property. And it monetizes in so many different ways, because beyond the book itself, it's created plays, theater, films, comics, merchandise, pajamas, calendars. That's the money, right? That's the business of IP. So if you look at television, right? In television, we had the chief executive of the Production Guild of the UK here 3 weeks ago. And she was talking, I was saying to her that one of the big gaps I see in Nigeria is product and merch.
Yeah.
Let's say we have 600 universities and polytechnics, colleges of education and universities. None of them have any merchandise. That's very strange. But if you look at Nigerian students who are alumni of these institutions, it's well over 25 million people. So how come, where's my Unilag t-shirt or hoodie? Where's Uni Jos? Where's ABU Zaria? Do you understand? I know every school has a nickname.
Yeah.
Lions, Fonsuka, or what? Do you understand? So where's the product? So it means that these schools are not enterprises. Harvard University probably has $200 billion of alumni money because they are focused. Forget whatever grants government gives them. From their alumni, they're delivering. Do you understand? But our universities sit there and wait for government. And without government, it's like, I can't do anything. I'm like, are you kidding me? So that's just the universities. I didn't talk about the sports clubs. So you know now, if you're a fan of football, you know that every single season, guys buy the home shirt and the away shirt.
Yeah.
And they have last season's shirt too, but they'll buy it this year. When the national team changes the shirt, they buy it again. Where's our product? Afrobeats, no product. Nollywood, no product. Superstar models, no product. No hair products, no lip gloss. Where is it?
Maybe the lack of infrastructure.
It's not lack of infrastructure. It's not, never, no. What infrastructure? Are people not selling jeans every day in Nigeria? People not selling sneakers every day? Making billions of naira, billions of dollars? No, we just need to enter the business of this thing and stop just doing with the shows. Show business. We have validated the show. Now it's time for the business.
So, but still talking about IP collateralization. Mm-hmm. Are we speaking about the fact that the creative can use his IP as a collateral?
That's exactly what's coming. Not just a creative, an innovator, a startup. Listen, the IP industries probably activate 60, 70% of the US economy, which is still the biggest economy in the world. And the two major epicenters for IP industries in America are Silicon Valley and Hollywood.
Yeah.
And both of them are in California. This is what makes California always in the top 5 economies in the world. Put all the countries in the world, California is in the top 5. Yes, it's a state, but it's richer than almost every other country in the world because of intellectual property. So you have to be able to unlock yourself in your country to back ideas. That's what intellectual property is. You have to back ideas. And you have to back ideas without telling people to bring their grandmother or their grandfather as collateral. Bring the house from the village as collateral. If it was based on that, Facebook, Amazon, none of these things would exist.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously, more developed financial markets lead to patient capital, which comes through pension funds, asset management funds, and the rest. But you may not have the same quantum here, but you certainly have people with the experience. You certainly have deep capital opportunities. We cannot continue to play victim, right? And why I say this is that I can assure you the biggest investor and the biggest investors in Nigerian creativity have not been Nigerian. And that is a painful thing to have to accept.
But I think one of the things that has happened is most of the monetization we've gotten has been based on foreign platforms. And I think we've leaned...
Whether it's about foreign platforms or not, what I'm telling you is this. The most important platform here has been historically DSTV MultiChoice. Every other brand followed them into the market because they showed a roadmap that shows you how you can monetize. Yeah. What did they do? They codified Nollywood, Africa Magic, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. They codified it. So now, and then Africa Magic 1 and 2. So the English ones, the local language ones, now you can see it formatted, you can see programming, you can follow the content, and then they made the guys superstars. The guys were stars for sure, but they were not stars in 54 countries. Yeah. Until Africa Magic started doing Omatala month, RMD month, Genevieve month, right? If you don't know, there are times when African heads of state, including President Obasanjo, will arrive in airports in Africa, and there's a whole delegation waiting, and they're not waiting for him, they're waiting for Rita Dominic, or waiting for Genevieve. He didn't even know who those people were. Do you understand? Because now everybody talks about Nollywood. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a lot of Nigerians were talking down about Nollywood. A lot of elite Nigerians were talking, what's that nonsense they're doing? That's what they were doing.
I observed that
about the music, about the Nollywood.
Our stars are more appreciated in other African countries than we even appreciate them here.
Oh, definitely. I can't Popo. Look, let me tell you something. Imagine if or when, because these days with technology is about when, there will be a time in future when some technologist will create an algorithm that will pay you for memes, right? If Aki and Popo were paid for memes, they'd be dollar billionaires. Very few things on the planet have been used as many as those guys. And it pains me every day because I'm thinking they're not getting paid. They use them for everything. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, bang, they're there. They've been using them for 10 years, but they're not able to be paid because there was no way to capture that and transfer the metadata and put the algorithm on it and then but somebody's going to work it out. The same way they're going to work out how to stick an algorithm that enables you to capture the dance step, right? So now it won't be about being the best dancer. It will not be a bragging thing. It'll be about, hey, man, I've got 1 billion people doing my dance. And because they're doing my dance and the algorithm knows it's my dance, I'm getting paid every time they do it. That's where this thing is going. So those people who are naturally born creative are constantly creating things every day, like the Nigerians are. There's a new dance step every day here.
Yeah.
When we grew up, it was the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
But the Jamaicans are basically Igbo. I mean, I'm just a fact. So a lot of Nigerians, we act like we're not aware of who we are. 1 in 2 black Brazilians is Nigerian descent. They're basically Yoruba.
Yoruba, yeah.
Cuba is the same thing, they're Yoruba. The Igbo boys are in America, right? Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados.
Barbados, yeah.
A little bit of Ghana, yes, a little bit of Tweed. I mean, my Ghana brothers, no hate. But the numbers are about the Nigerians. So when they tell you this thing came from West Africa, we're talking about Nigeria. Do you understand? We're 70% of the people out of West Africa. And even those that left the continent, we're still 70%. Do you understand? In terms of slavery.
So well, I mean, it'd really be exciting to see. But what is holding it back right now?
Right now?
Yes, the IP collaboration.
Nothing. It's actually at FEC. So it'll be through FEC in a short while. Once it's through FEC, then they'll push it to the bankers committee. Then the banks will bring it out. I think it'll be done before the end of this year.
Wow. It's
just the process of government because it was a multi-ministerial thing.
Okay.
So the ministry of our Ministry of Digital Economy, Trade and Investment, and Finance. Because people have to understand, this is a business sector. This is not, we want to have parties, give us money. No. There are very few things on planet Earth that make the exponential returns of intellectual property from these sectors. But of course, you have to understand the risk involved, right? So if you're making a film slate's typically out of 10 films, only 2 will pay. Only 2 will make money. But they'll make enough money to pay for the 8 losses.
Yeah.
That's how studios do their mathematics. It's not me.
So with this coming up, how should creatives or people in the business right now be positioning or be posturing?
I think, first of all, they need to be engaging everything that's going on, right? The CEDF, the Creative Economy Development Fund, has been live. In fact, it's closing...
7th of October?
No, October 1. Have they extended it again?
Oh, okay.
I think it's October 1
okay.
for this second batch. And I believe there are over 50,000 applications in there. And this is for blended equity grants up to $100,000. The first segment was for up to $1 million and above, and there were 3,000 applications, right? Now, the point is that in the first quarter of next year, we'll begin to see disbursements in terms of that particular fund. But that fund was $200 million that's backed by Afrobeats at this time. The target for that fund is $2 billion, right? That we want to raise to stimulate. And the money is really for the ecosystem. It's not for us, the public sector. It's for the private sector and operators like that. The key thing is this. If you are a creative and you don't have a business plan, find a business manager. Find somebody who's going to run you. You focus on your creativity. Go and find an Elijah that understands business and numbers to be your manager. Get a lawyer, get an accountant. So you can't afford them. You don't have to be able to afford them. You have to find those that believe in you and believe in your talent. That is exactly, no artist, there's nobody that made it by themselves, right? Those are fantasies told for the attention and the energy of people that don't understand real life. So even any artist you see, they're always by himself. He's not by himself. There's a team. There's always a team behind any successful artist. If there's no team, you cannot be successful.
True.
So you need the back end has to be sorted. That takes care of audits. That takes care. The road manager makes sure the guy wakes up in the morning and makes all his meetings, his rehearsals, his performance. The business manager makes sure the business makes sense. So the right deals are done, payments are done on time, the families take, do you understand? And that's how it is. So any successful artist is like any successful enterprise. It has to be run properly to give returns and yield to the investors who invested it in the first place. Do you understand?
It kind of reminds me of the line that Jay-Z said. I say, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
And even when he said it, he was still worth only about 150. It was worth maybe 150. Now it's worth 3.5 billion.
Yeah.
So the point's been made many, many times over.
Yeah.
But the example of people like Jay-Z is how you can platform stuff, right? Jay-Z worked out that it was worth more to him to own stuff than to endorse stuff. That's a big statement. They're paying you a lot of money to wear their clothes. Nah, man, let me start Rockaware. It takes a particular mindset and confidence to do that and understand that your influence has the opportunity to shape and shift culture.
Yeah,
not everybody can do that,
yeah.
but those that can, if you have that ability,
I think we're somewhere having a conversation and we're talking about the fact that some of these artists have not released any product and it's just literally low-hanging fruit.
None of them. Let me put it like that. Let's say nobody.
But why do you think so?
There's just a couple of things. I think Puma did a thing with Davido because the honest truth, look, a lot of the Nigerian artists have abandoned their followers on Facebook. They don't have any Facebook strategy for their followers. They might have left it and not posted for 5 years. Do you understand? Does that sound wise to you? So you got 5 million followers on Facebook. You don't even talk to them because you think TikTok is the one that's hot now.
Or Instagram.
Yeah, listen, you have to have a strategy for everybody because every audience deserves respect. If you got fans and you don't talk to them, they're going to be upset with you. Why build enmity when you should be building love, right? So you have to put some energy back into investing into your fan base by giving them authentic opportunities to connect, to own, to touch, to feel. When they get that, then you could be dropping products every day. But if you make your relationship with your fans transactional, then they will not follow. And if you can see it when any artist, if all he's posting is, oh, my single is out, there's no likes. That's not what they follow you for. They want to follow you for a feeling.
Get to know you, yeah.
Yeah, a feeling, or how you express what you're doing. And then when the song comes, oh, we love the new song. But it can't be a transactional every day, I'm pushing product to you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the productivization of the culture. Afrobeats culture, everything we do, it's like memory, right? Like literature. Where are the books on anything? Nobody's written anything on anything. What has happened here in the last 10, 15 years deserves at least 100 books and 100 docuseries. But there's like 2 docuseries and no books. And beyond a bunch of social media posts, there's really no in-depth analysis. And if you don't do those things, how do you learn? So if you don't have a conversation and if you don't get Tega to tell you the real story of how they built Maven, how the hell are you going to learn? How does anybody on the street learn? How does anybody get inspired? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the power of example. And if you understand where we're coming from as a nation, where the perception was that everybody's corrupt, everybody's stealing, so a bunch of young guys suddenly make $200 million. It's not suddenly, it took 12 years.
Yeah.
But $200 million is not a joke in any place, at any time.
Do you think you left too soon? Maybe you should have been the one making.
Who told you I left?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We own catalog. We're in the game always. Every single day, artists are on me. I refer artists daily to producers, to labels, to managers. No. My ear is clean. I hear. We'll be making stars for 25 years. We'll still make stars. But I don't have the energy to be managing an artist day to day.
Yeah.
No, that's a young man's game. That's a young man's game. Go talk to Asa. And you see the roles and personalities are different. Not everybody can be a road manager. Yeah. That's a nightmare. You're with the artist full time, and you've got to be available like that full time. And that's really your life. So there's nothing sexy about it. I always tell people think, they're having fun? Okay. That's what you think. They're working. It doesn't look like work to you because your work is different, but this is their work.
But do you think we should expect more of those kind of deals coming out from Africa?
Oh, definitely. So there's 2, 3 more coming out of Nigeria. Not just Africa. Oh man, many people have built. I'm not gonna drop the names, but definitely I know 3, 4, 5 just on the music side.
So, but what about other sectors apart from music?
Well, people are building. Already, if you look at Comic Republic, the deal that Julian Martins and Comic Republic did, if you look at that deal critically, he did a deal, he licensed the IP to Universal Pictures through an old friend of mine. I wasn't involved in any way, but he himself is a major player. Selwyn Seifu Jones. Selwyn he's like me, he's hip hop. Selwyn was the foundational editor of The Source magazine. So if you're hip hop, you know what The Source is.
Yeah.
But he transited from that to television and became one of the biggest showrunners in the world. And as that, he also has his own slate of projects over Universal Pictures. And he did this deal with Comic Republic. Comic Republic is an imprint out of Lagos. But Jide Martin's moved to London maybe 6-8 years ago. His wife is his partner. They got an agent, which is one of the prerequisites to do big deals. And one of the things we need to bring into our own ecosystem. They already had their universe they had created. You know how comics work. They created a universe, a storyverse, and they have these characters that are similar to the Marvel Avengers, but they're out of Nigeria. They wear green, white, green. They build all this stuff, and Universal licensed this IP from them for $4 million, right? They licensed 4 pieces of IP. They have 200 pieces of IP. So you could say that their valuation is $200 million, depending how you want to tell the story. Now, those 4 pieces of IP are going to be produced into television series, anime, graphic comics, movies, and original dramas for television. So that's 5-6 different ways of output. As the revenue begins to come from those, they will also earn revenue. After 3 years, they're now free to go and do that same deal in Japan, in Canada, in the UK, anywhere else they want to do it. And I believe in that period of time, next 3 to 5 years, they'll license more IP with different studios, do multiple deals, and get to a stage where they've got $30-40 million things done. And then they'll really start to kick, because once you get 20-30 pieces of IP into the market actively, your revenues can become very, very significant. So they are a classic example, right? And I think when you look at them, and I look at animation, I look at esports, and I look at gaming, I think in that space, there's going to be some massive things happening, right? Because I think that if you look at, you know that gaming is the biggest sector of the entertainment industry worldwide. It's bigger than music, it's bigger than film, it's bigger than everything. So the biggest entertainment releases of all time are all games. These are things that are making $1 billion in 3 days of release. It's not about going platinum. They're making serious money. But guess what? There are really no black games. So who's got the original black stories? Us. But what will end up happening, some of our people are developing Rise of the Orisha. That's coming to Xbox soon, or PlayStation. Do you understand? When that comes and it's platformed and there's 200 million PlayStations, how many people are playing it? Licensed? Do you understand? So it's just, the problem is in Nigeria, can you find the $300,000 to finish development to get into the PlayStation? Do you get? And the Nigerians say they're looking for investment. I say, how hard did you look? Do you understand what I'm saying? So there is so much more to see. Look at what's happening with the fashion designers, right? Mowa was the chief curator for Kanye West.
Yeah, that's
yes. True. On a $2 billion deal, basically, with Gap, right? Yes, Kanye imploded and all of that, but it doesn't take away from her achievement. It doesn't take away that this is a girl, I think she's 25, she's also a musician.
Yeah.
I think she did a release of bags, of her handmade bags, maybe 1,000 only. So is it 6,000 pounds, some crazy figure?
Yeah.
£6 million. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of people like this. Vicky James, who makes the clothes, right? You saw there was some Nigerian lady, I don't know where she was based. I think she might be based in Abuja. This is a story that made BBC. But the high school girls in America, prom girls, who are ordering their prom dresses from a lady in Abuja. And she was charging them $150 to $200 a dress. And it turns out she made 12,000 dresses.
12,000 dresses?
My brother, 12,000 dresses.
Whoosh.
Count it, do the dollar price. Do you understand? And she's sitting here in Abuja. Maybe people don't really understand the kind of money she'd be generating, but this is what is happening. So even with the blockages, even with the obstacles, people are still winning. So the more you can take away those issues that impinge us and hold us back and give more leverage and more platform, then it gets bigger, right? So I think really it's about connected thinking. It's about understanding that if you're a state government, it's one of the things we've been trying to do, go to all the states, go to Nigerian Governors Forum, and let them know every single state in Nigeria has the assets, the destinations, and the attractions to make a couple of $1 billion a year from this sector, right? You're not giving away money.
It's not only Lagos and then to December.
Of course not. It's Nigeria's season and it's 12 months, 24/7. Think about it like that, right? Every single state has something happening. Every single state has destinations. There are 10,000 hotels in Nigeria. There are 30 airports. Do you understand? 10,000 hotels, 30 airports, 600 tertiary institutions. You have more than enough base infrastructure for everything you want to do. Domestic touring, more festivals. And what is a festival? It's how you envisage it and what you make it happen. So some people go to Notting Hill Carnival every year and they buy I Love Notting Hill Carnival t-shirt. They don't know they just contributed to somebody making £5 million because the t-shirt only cost £7.50. So you didn't really think about it when you bought it. I bought I Love London t-shirt. It's branding. I Heart London. The guy's been making £30 million a year for 30 years. He didn't do anything complicated. He just piped into the fact that when you go somewhere, you want to connect to where you went. So why shouldn't I go to Lagos and buy I Love Eko? Do you understand? I Love Enugu. Every single place in Nigeria has the opportunity to brand and sell and promote itself, even if not to anybody else, to its own people. Forget foreigners. Deal with these people living in your town. We're here in Abuja. You guys are Abuja people.
Yeah.
How come I can't get Rock City t-shirts? Does that make sense?
Rock City?
All of these rocks around Abuja.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's vernacular. That's lingua. It's just slang. But you create identities, right? You create identities and brands and people follow that. And based on that, that's lifestyle. Do you understand? So if I'm 21, yes, I will launch a brand called Rock City right now. And everybody does it of this podcast. I'm going to sue them too.
I mean, you've not trademarked it.
So you don't drop the IP for free. There's always a few freebies when I talk. But I'm being real. These opportunities are right here in front of you. So it's like, not everybody's supposed to be on TV. Yeah? Just because you're saying in the creative industry does not mean you're the actor on screen. You could be the person, but you could be managing the actor. Why don't you manage the actor's business? Right?
Yeah.
Where's the Burna Boy product? Burna Boy has been for at least 2 years the biggest African musician in the world, one of the biggest black musicians. I can't buy anything Burna Boy. That's not music. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
People are just, I think,
people are lazy.
yeah.
People are lazy.
Maybe short-sighted.
It's not about being short-sighted. Maybe they just don't like the money. Maybe they don't like the money. Rihanna sold 300 million records. She's not a billionaire because that. She's a billionaire because of Fenty.
Yeah.
Come on. How many female superstars do we have in Nollywood that have over 10 million followers? 10, maybe. Where's their product? Where's their hair product? Where's the lip gloss? Where's the makeup? I'm just saying, there's over 100 million women in Nigeria.
I think that's an opportunity for anyone who wants to even jump in it, because they themselves may
It's an
not be
opportunity
able to
today, tomorrow, the day after. It's an opportunity period, right? And the point is that let's stop talking about it. Let's just get it done.
So I think a lot of people are complaining that there's no financing for it. I think that's where they are.
Really, have they tried? The same people that are selling secondhand jeans are saying there's no financing for Tiwa Savage products. Are you kidding me? If you get Tiwa to sign for you that you can sell her image rights, go and meet me, I'll give you 10 banks. Are you joking? They haven't tried. They're not being diligent. It's easy to sit and complain there's no this, there's no that. Show me how many times you tried and they told you no. Then you can come. Chief Biodun Shobanjo, who is truly one of the great marketing men of this country, founder of NCAC Communications, he told me a story. When we did The Apprentice Africa in 2008, I'll never forget. He told me he chased Nigerian breweries for 19 years.
To get them on as an account, yeah.
Yeah, to get the Google account. And I was just looking at him. I said, 19 years? I'm like, I don't think I could hear no for 19 years. I'll start hating the brand. I'm like, man, after 2-3 years, I'm done. And I thought I was resilient. He said, Obi, I chased them down 19 years. But once I secured them, I never let them go. And of course, he secured them. What did he do? He created Ultimate Search. Dominated this market for a decade. Total domination. Not even any argument about it, right? That is what is possible in a market like Nigeria. So I just say that we're just starting. People talk sometimes like, it's all been done. It's not true. We haven't even started. Merge conversation should tell you that already.
Yeah.
Where are the toys? Are you telling me that you don't know the average age of Nigeria is 17? 50% of Nigerians are under 16. So where are they? Where's the product for 5 to 12? Where are the toys? When the kids grew up and say, please, I want Arya Star doll. Where is it? Do you understand what I'm saying? That is the money. That's the business. That's the business we need to focus on. And not wait for the Chinese to come and do it for us or anybody else to do it for us. You should do it yourself.
You're giving out a lot of free game on this episode.
Well, it's like, man, I've done what I have to do, man. I came here to do that. Because the truth of the matter is, we want to activate and animate our people. It's not about me sitting here and holding all the information, then going and sit with my friend, let's do this thing. Nope. If this motivates my friends to get into this thing, even better. Do you understand? Where's the Dangote merch?
Dangote?
You're saying Dangote? If Dangote was selling T-shirts and caps, you don't know there'll be millions of them being worn by Nigerians? It's a big brand. What are you talking about? It's like Diageo. Once you design is hot, you wear it. Right? Is there any Nigerian that doesn't know Dangote?
No.
So that's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough. It's enough. I mean, enough said. Just that. It's like,
I think one match I would like to see is Odumodu match.
I've said it before. I actually called one of the guys that owns Native, his label, 2 days ago, and I said, guy, where's my hat? The only thing I didn't tell him is, you guys haven't put this hat out yet? This hat that looks like an Igbo hat. You don't know every Igbo man in Nigeria will collect one first. You can be arguing whether it's the Igbo hat, it's not the Igbo hat, they'll collect one. Some will collect 2. Some will collect 10 and give all their family members. But the point is, where's the hat? Right? I talked about Enugu Rangers before. Wear their shirts. They did a deal, the shirt deal, my people at Afroinvest, great deal, but where's the shirt? They won the league or something. They should have been able to sell 1 million shirts. Stationary stores, Shooting Stars, Mighty Jets of Jos, Bracca Rovers, Kano Pillars, my brother. Kano Pillars, every home game, everybody's wearing Kano Pillars shirt, as it should be, right? Every single home game in the EPL is at least £1 million just on tickets. Do you understand? We're a bigger country with more people, right? We just haven't created the product. The product. Football is a product. It's not just go and play ball. And those, when you're watching the EPL, there's 37 cameras. So the production is heavy.
Yeah.
The investment is heavy. You know production.
Yeah.
So the whole point is we need to be production ready in every single aspect. It's not just do the music and say, it's cool. No. Where's the product? Where's the merch? What's the plan? Where's the marketing? How does it go? Do you understand? It's a value chain.
So do you think...
I was just talking about music, but where's the Nollywood product? All the great Nollywood films, where's the T-shirt? Where's the poster? When I was a kid growing up, everybody was buying posters, film posters. You go to the bedroom, I've got all my film posters on the wall. I've never seen I don't even think you can buy a poster of a Nollywood film. The great Nollywood films, the greatest. Do you understand? This is the problem. And you cannot say it's because, I don't even know why. So I cannot say, it's because of what? It's because the business people are not in the industry. Do you understand? The guys who started Nollywood were business people. The Alaba boys, the Dumota boys. What were they doing? They were selling blank cassettes. And somebody worked out if I put content on the cassette, the value goes up. And they make 300% margin. That's it. They didn't care about the content. They just wanted to put something on it. Then they found out that people are liking this thing. They like this guy. They put that guy's face on the cassette. The margin goes up again. It was not complicated. You understand what I'm saying? So 20, 30 years later, you're telling me we don't know that if I put a T-shirt with a Motalas. I used to tell a Motala back in the day, you know those dice that taxi drivers have in the front of the car? Yeah. That's about it. If you can put this dice with your picture, maybe 10 million taxi drivers in Nigeria can buy it. So at 50-50 kobo or 5 naira. But the money is heavy. This is before the currency devalued into all kinds of zillion, billion. But do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because when you're big in a market this size, then you really have opportunity to scale. And I still think we're still at the beginning of the curve. Because everything we think we've heard, everything we think that's been done, much more is still to come.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Should we be thinking Nigeria or should we be thinking Africa?
You think Nigeria first. You can't go global until you dominate local. You've got to dominate your own environment. Then everything else comes. Africa, Asia, Europe, America, it will all come. But if you're not dominant here, and you got to keep your eye on your local market. Do you understand?
Do you think there are some artists that are losing the local market?
There are always artists that lose the local market because other new artists come behind them and take their spot, right? But you also have to be committed to your own market as well. So some artists lose the local market because they don't engage it, right? Some artists feel they've outgrown their market, so they've moved. But it's also about how the local market is reacting. What are the platforms we're presenting? What are the TV shows, the radio shows, the local shows? How are they curated, how are they produced? You performed at the O2, you performed at the Madison Square Gardens, you performed in Parc des Princes, Wembley Stadium. There's a level. So I don't want to come and perform on your stage that's going to collapse, right? I don't want to have a rider that makes no sense, right? So it's a value exchange, and it's still a constant daily conversation. Shout out to Sasha, who's trying to build a live performance circuit on the continent. Domestic touring is a critical thing that we must do.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
You have to do it. But listen, because we have the base infrastructure, right? We have 40 stadiums. We have 600 tertiary institutions that all have pitches or fields, right? Halls, 10,000 hotels that have halls. So there's spaces. What you don't necessarily have is arenas.
Yeah, we don't.
Mid-sized arenas and big arenas. But you have every other thing. Plus you have 30 airports. So logistics is in place to move around. Do you understand? Right? So really, it's about having the knowledge, the capital, and the confidence to go and do it. But I have to shout out Davido. Their 5 tour, there are 5 locations in Nigeria for their 5 world tour. And I think that's the way to do it. You integrate your local dates into your global tour, and then you try to deliver to the people here the same experience you're delivering everywhere else. Because the people here, Nigerians have been kind of cheated.
How do you mean?
I mean that in the global explosion of Afrobeats, they haven't been participating. You're seeing 1%. A show in a hotel is not a stadium show. Don't get it twisted. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. So you're sitting in a hotel with 3,000 people on the table. 60,000 in the stadium, 80,000 in TBS, 200,000 on the beach. That's big. And we have the capacity to do those things. And that's what I think we need to be delivering.
Cool. Do you think we have what it takes to deliver 200,000 people on the beach?
Of course. I was at Lekki Sunsplash with 200,000 people and Fela Kuti in 1991. There was no logistics. It was a nightmare getting in and out. It took 10 hours. But I was there. I was backstage watching Fela, taking pictures. I still have a photograph somewhere. Do you understand? So yes, it's been happening. Is it Trem? Is it not Redeemed that pulls out 500,000 people for their things? You think we can't pull out the same numbers? We can pull out the same numbers. It's about the price point. It's about the communication, and it's about the value proposition. If the value proposition is right, if you've got the right talent mix, you pull out 1 million people. Do you understand? The issue is just going to be where can take those 1 million people without killing the logistics of that city for the day. Do you understand? It's like, if you try to put 200,000 people today in Lagos, man, goodness, good luck to you.
This is locked down.
Yeah, of course. But I think almost any city will be locked down with those kind of numbers.
Well, I mean, it depends on where. Like Abuja, for example, I think if you do it, I mean, if you do it a bit outside, you might.
I've been outside Abuja. When they do the dunamis and all these churches, it's 30,000, right? 20,000.
No, I mean, dunamis is 100,000.
100,000 now. So they're doing it regularly.
Yeah, every Sunday.
So you see what I'm saying? So you're asking me. So you're asking me whether we can pull out 200,000. You already know the answer.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
can pull it out. You can pull it out. The experience is how many people?
Yeah, that shit is a lot of people.
There have been shows in TBS, people say it was 300,000. I've been in some of those shows. I didn't count the people, but there's a lot of people. You understand what I'm saying?
Let's just say maybe 120,000.
Listen, the truth of the matter is, however many people you have at a show, the key issue is, are they paying? Are they spending? Are they monetizing? Can you track who's at the show? If you can do those 4 or 5 things, it's perfect. The show is great. If you can't, then you're playing games. You're still doing amateur night at the Apollo. You're not really doing the professional thing. Because then you want to show off to other people for what reason? You need to have the data. So if 100,000 people at the show, I need to see the data of the 100,000. right? Because that data is more valuable to me than even the show money. Do you understand? Because now I know those 100,000 people are committed to that artist. And anything that artist does, they're going to be first in line. And they'll spend their money, bam, they'll just press that button and it has happened. Do you understand? So when you see the really sharp operators, they know what they're doing. They're building their databases. They got their fan base. They know exactly.
Like Afro Nation.
Of course, all those guys. Afro Nation have sold 2 million tickets. Sold, not given away. It's a business, right? So remember that. It's a business. People have to buy the tickets, right? They have to buy the tickets to pay for the talent. Because before, I've been here, we go through cycles. There was a time when, you go to like a big comedian show, backstage there'd be 30 artists.
Yeah.
Begging to get on stage. And only maybe 5 will perform. And the comedian or the host will be telling them, hey, don't worry, it might be new. Next time. This one is not your time yet. And I'm talking about P-Square. I'm talking about big boys, Guys now beg, finally get on stage at 3 a.m., do 1 5-minute set, and go home high off that energy that, okay, we killed them. But the main crowd left already. Do you understand what I'm saying? But that was the most they could give you. Rhythm Unplugged used to happen all the time, 20 years ago. Guys be sitting there at 4 a.m., frustrated they can't get on stage. Nobody's doing that to the top Nigerian artists anymore. We're off that. We've been through that. Do you understand? Now it's like, how the hell can I afford the artist? So it's gone full circle.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's saying, they can't afford the artist. They can't afford this one. They can't afford that one. I said, the artists don't set their rates. That's not how it works. The rates that you're hearing is the rates they have earned. They've created the value that this is what they get paid. Not because they woke up in the morning and say, I beg, send me this money. If it was like that now, everybody would be an artist.
Yeah.
No, it is based on market value. So now they have built themselves into a point where the market understands that for this guy to come and perform, this is his money. And see, everybody knows it. You cannot go and meet him if you don't have it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the beginning of being very sober and understanding where you are, what your position is.
But don't you think there's a certain level of poverty in the country that has affected the consumption in terms of monetization?
Well, definitely. If you look at certain things like free goes very well in Nigeria. Yeah? But you see, sometimes the data lies. The same issue or the same question about poverty was being used against launching GSM in Nigeria. And when they were launching GSM in Nigeria, they said that all the model studies said that it will take 5 years to get to 5 million lines. You know how long it took? 3 months. You know where 60% of those lines were? My hometown, Onitsha. Because those traders have been waiting for 10 years on Nitel line.
Not 9 knots.
Not even not 9 knots. They couldn't even get that one. How many not 9 knots were there?
Yeah.
The entire fixed lines in the country was under 400,000. Then you got a city like Onitsha, 2 million people who are traders. Of those guys, maybe half of them are traders, or 30%. Those guys were waiting. The minute phone line became available, they said, well, it's available. How much is it? Say 33,000 when they first started. Actually, 10. They buy 10. The moon actually believes that these lines are going to work. Suddenly they have 10. They give phone to everybody in their office, in their house, in their family. Suddenly everybody has phone. It was crazy. Now, MTN hit 5 million in 90 days or 120 days. The whole 3 licensees were supposed to hit 5 million in 5 years. It could have hit their 1 million in like 30 days. I'm telling you. Go and ask them.
Yeah.
So people consistently undervalue and underestimate this market. So the question should not be, has poverty not held it back, right? The question should be, or the statement should be, let's look at the fact that, as we're sitting here today, a $25 billion sector, we could be a $100 billion sector today. Not potentially, just based on a couple of leverage issues, a couple of tweaks in administration, a couple of tweaks in the banking sector that enable patient capital. If you'd done that 5 years ago, we'd already have been exponentially much larger than we are today. Do you understand? So I don't think it's about, yes, of course, buying power, purchasing power parity. It's a core issue.
Yeah.
But our job is not to solve those economic issues. Our job is to create the content, the stories that people love. And because people love them and emotionally connected to them, they're prepared to pay for them.
What do you think about, we recently had news, we don't know whether it's true or not, Netflix, Prime, leaving Nigeria, coming back, they're still here, they're not here.
Well,
and then we're now seeing a lot of young people saying, not a lot of young people, a lot of people saying, we have to build our own streaming platforms, we have to build our own distribution. What do you think about that?
I think a lot of people just talk. Do you know what Netflix's budget per annum for commissioning original content is? $20 billion. Amazon content budget is about 10 billion. Apple Music is Apple TV is similar. And just sitting there and saying you want to build your domestic platform and go, I wish them luck. But 90% of the conversation is just vanity metrics. I don't see it as real. I think that in Nigeria, you have to look at the model very carefully. Netflix have a model where they don't use telcos, right? They don't build through telcos. Distribution in 2025, probably since 2015 itself, is driven by telco, because telco has the reach.
Yeah.
So MTN has 85 million people on their network in Nigeria. So if you're launching a product in Nigeria, the first people you can talk to is MTN, because they can get you to 85 million people. Most people don't need to get to 85 million. They'd be happy to get to 8,000 or 800 or 80,000. But whatever the reaches you're looking for, they have it, right? They have it profiled. They know the people, the age, the demographic, where they live, how much they spend on their phone per month, which gives you an indication of how much purchasing power they have. So the first point is access, right? That is what determines everything. I think that in terms of Netflix and Amazon, and of course I'm in government, I've not even if I wasn't in government, we're at a level where they've spoken to me, right? And really what has happened is Amazon changed their model slightly. Amazon's issues are a little bit different from Netflix. They changed their model slightly. So Amazon shut down all their offices everywhere outside America, except maybe Canada and the UK, right? So they shut down the whole of Asia, whole of Africa. But of course, Nigerians take it personal, like as if it was just Nigeria. No, it's not. It's everywhere. Viacom right now is shutting down all the Paramount offices everywhere because streaming is having challenges, right? If you look at your phone, you look at the amount of apps on your phone, how many are you prepared to subscribe to? This is the whole issue. I'm a music person. I used to have Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer. I mean, how many am I going to pay for?
Yeah.
I dropped the rest. I just have Spotify now. Do you understand? Because you look at your wallet, same thing with the TV and the streamers. I still have Netflix, but I chilled Amazon Prime. I was like, man, I don't watch it that much, so I let it go. The same way some people cut DSTV, right? They cut the cable. They're no longer watching.
Yeah. The Nigeria creator ecosystem. I mean, recently the NCAC partnered with us to do the Nigeria Creator Economy Report. And you were very instrumental in, you just challenged us. I don't want Africa, I want Nigeria. That's what I care
I'm
about.
Nigerian, man. This is the market that we need to monetize first.
Yeah. So, but what were your key motivations and your key findings when you said we should work on that report?
I think first of all, because I think we need everything that we can do to validate our markets with data and economic metrics is critical. So that we can take the conversation much wider than just the creatives. Sometimes I say the creatives is as if other people are not important. Everybody is important. We need the professionals, the accountants, the auditors, the lawyers. Because first of all, everybody's a creator.
Yeah.
All of those people I just mentioned, they're all creators.
Yeah.
They have podcasts, they have opinions, they have op-ed, they're on Substack, everybody, right? And everybody has understood now. You see the way Nigerians use LinkedIn. Everybody's a self-promoter, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, coach. I look at the Nigerian profiles on LinkedIn and I'm like, this guy's probably sitting at home and never worked before. But his profile says coach, self-made, serial entrepreneur, C-suite. I'm like, my guy read how to do the profile, right? But it goes beyond that, right? And I think one of the things that we're seeing and that is really important is that you need to be sticky. That's the key thing for a creator. How do you do something that is sticky, that'll keep people on your product, on your podcast or content or whatever? Because the longer they engage it, the more you monetize, right? So for me, the most important things were, first of all, to begin to dimension what is the creator economy? How are influencers making money? What are the priorities for brands? Which are the segments that are growing the fastest? And I think we've made a fair attempt year one. We couldn't do much necessarily about the culinary side. There's some gaps, but I think that was normal because we were also working to a tight deadline. But I have to commend you guys because you guys really did the heavy lifting.
Thank you.
My own is about strategic direction to a specific objective. The specific objective is we want to unlock more resources for more creators, enable more Nigerian creators, and provide examples for them. So the Creator Economy Report is something that all creators should read. All Nigerian creators should read it. Whether they agree with what's in it or not, at least there must be something in there that will help you on your journey. And that's the first important thing. The second important thing is all financial people should read it, because if you don't understand the ecosystem, you cannot make a decision on the ecosystem. So in reading it, you're going to find a better understanding of how the ecosystem works, where the monetization happens. It's from you guys I learned about Salah.com. Any platform in Nigeria that paid 10 billion people in a year has to be taken very seriously. And that's a platform that is enabling monetization for creators, has to be taken even more seriously. I was speaking last week for the Nigerian Copyright Commission at a keynote talking about rights management, right? Performance rights specifically. Talking about with the Hotels Association in Abuja. And when I told them about Salah.com, there was total silence in the room. They're like, oh my God. So people are getting paid in Nigeria? I say, yes, they're getting paid. So we must fix that ecosystem so people get paid. There are 10,000 hotels in Nigeria. All of them are playing music. All of them are playing Nollywood movies. How many of them are paying? Do you understand what I'm saying? We need this at scale. So if there are 10,000 are playing, if the 400 broadcast stations that are TV and radio are paying, right? Trust me, domestic revenues, you will now be seeing several successful local record labels and publishing houses because they're receiving 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion from the domestic ecosystem. Because, by the way, the amount you pay for licensing is not expensive. It's not like as if you're paying 2 million a month. You might be paying 30K, but it's about scale. How many lounges and bars are there in Abuja? I was with the guys at Abuja Eats. They told me they'd reviewed over 500 restaurants in Abuja. I was weak. 500 restaurants in Abuja. I said, yes, sir. I was like, damn. That gave me a totally different idea of the size of Abuja nightlife. There's 500 restaurants. There's probably 1,000 bars and lounges. There's 1,000 bars and lounges. I shared with you the Uncharted Waters report that put Lagos nightlife at 1.4 trillion naira 2024. That's $900 million. That's just Lagos. What are the other 60 cities in Nigeria doing combined? I would say at least half of that, at least the same figure. So if they're doing 1.4, that's 2.8 trillion. Now you're talking almost $2 billion in the nightlife space
alone.
And what did the guy call it in the report? The Afrobeats economy. And then somebody wants to ask me, is Afrobeats a fad? Are they making money? I said, are you kidding me? Every single day, people are making money around the culture, around the movement, either booking artists, booking venues, paying for equipment, paying for services, paying for performance. So don't tell me the music is not free. Pay for the music, right? It's not a big amount of money. If you're a filmmaker, pay the licensing for the track you want to use to animate your thing. You can't make a film without music. It's impossible.
It's possible.
You got to make any piece of content without music. If you look at a TV commercial that doesn't have music, it's a dead TV commercial.
True.
So music is critical in the DNA of all creative production. And what has happened is that Afrobeats is the sort of carrier And it's carried Nigerian food, dance, comedy, attitude, lifestyle to the world. And that is what has primarily changed the perception of Nigerians worldwide. So when people think about Nigerians today, they don't think about 419. They think about creativity and innovation, about talent. But oh my God, Nigeria has so much talent. I say, yes, it does. Writers, authors, poets, dancers, musicians, name it, fashion designers, hairdressers. I mean, chefs. It's nonstop. And every day a new one is emerging. And any city you go to in Nigeria, there's some there that you didn't know. Do you understand? And for me, that's the big focus, because what we're trying to do is aggregate the creators at scale to animate them and bring them to life.
What are you guys currently doing to achieve that?
We have a platform called Discover Niger that is coming specifically on that focus. It is a discovery funnel to activate Nigerian creators. We'll be live Q4 this year. We have some interesting partners. I can't divulge that yet, but I'm excited because with our ICE hubs, ICE is innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship, nothing to do with the US ICE. And we've been ICE. I had the ICE thing for a long time. With the ICE hubs and with the Discover Niger sort of what I call funnel.
How do the ICE hubs work?
The ICE hubs are basically going to be, well, first of all, we converted all our offices and locations to ICE hubs.
How many are those?
22 around Nigeria. We also work with the Nigerian Governors Forum. So that's 37 more, one in every state capital. Our real target is to be in every local government, 774, right? They're dead physical assets all over this country that belong to government. So what we want to do is get into these dead spaces and animate them. Put in a digital lab, put in a green room, put in the content. We have our capacity building partners with Allison, with UNDP, with British Council, with DEC, and TextQuest. So we have rich curriculum, right? We also have the funnel with Discover Niger, with a bunch of Nigerians who are the biggest Nigerians in the game who will be on there curating their playlists. The Discover Niger is really available across all platforms to track Nigerians. You can imagine what happens if 100,000 Nigerians are posting Discover Niger as a hashtag. You will be visible. Nigerians are posting something like 5,000 pieces of content a day, every single day. Music, videos, all sorts of stuff. So being seen is the hardest thing. There's 90 million songs on Spotify. How am I going to find you? I don't know. So we come with that. So we really hope to be able to activate like 1 million creators over the next 3 years. If we can do that and give the capacity building to give the skills, they can uplift their skills, they can come into those ICE hubs and produce. Because the ICE hubs will have production facilities. But you pay to use them, they're not free, right? But you pay subsidized rates. So you become like a member of the ICE club or the ICE hubs, that you can use the facilities. And of course, Discover Niger is there to monetize you, to help you push to monetization. So it's sort of trying to create a circular economy. It's a virtual circle where the value is clear to everybody. And we want to build trust so that Nigerian creators know they can come into spaces. I would say 90% of Nigerian creators have never been in a studio. They've never been in front of a green screen. Do you understand? They haven't had that opportunity. So we bring that opportunity to you, whether you're in Kafanchan or Oshobo, whether you're in Sokoto or Onitsha. There's creativity everywhere. When we did the National Festival of Arts and Culture last year, NAFest, man, Nasarawa State won the Jollof Wars.
That's my state.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? Nasarawa State also won the dance-off. So, people ordinarily, everybody has their biases. They might say, Lagos was here, Enugu was here, all the eastern states were here. How come Nasarawa State won this? And I said, bro, they came out there like Michael Jackson and P-Square combined. I'm telling you, and they killed it. And I watched all this stuff and I was like, my God, this is really something. And I think that opened my eyes.
Are we having another one this year?
Of course, in Enugu, November 22nd to November 29th, everybody's invited. NAFest is like Nigeria's Cultural Olympics, really, because there are 15, 16 different categories: the swag show, the jollof wars, the dance-off, the sing-off, the children's culture quiz, the visual competition. You have the Niger Home Makeover. I love that one because basically they have to come and make over a room using their indigenous culture and fabrics. And that's really interesting because it's the kind of thing that you just know that in another 10 years, as you become more self-confident, Nigerian interior decor using Nigerian fabrics is another $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
You know, why are we using any fabrics except our own? Our own are incredible. For foot mats to duvets to blinds to throw pillows, rugs. We don't need to use anything that's not ours. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think as people become more confident, you walk into their homes, and when you walk into the home, you know you're in a Nigerian home.
Yeah.
You walk into a hotel, you know, okay, this is Nigeria. It's not just a random hotel lobby that could be in any country in the world with no identity, no culture, no art that represents us. That to me is really, really important. So yeah, NAFest in Enugu should be incredible. We have some incredible things coming, you know, and I like those things because one of the things you're seeing as well is, as I talked earlier about product and merch, is like the fashion, the sneakers, there are a lot of talented young Nigerians doing a lot of these things on a solo basis. But for them to achieve scale, it's about money.
It's about money, yeah.
And it's also about finishing. It's also about understanding that if you want to make a blazer jacket, and get it into global buyer, you need to make 1,000 of them. And the lapel can't be off. The button can't be off. Lapels and buttons are the hardest thing in making jackets and shirts, right? So there's some little things that our people still need into finishing, because a lot of our people are still working on intuition. And intuition is not fully
codified or standardized.
It's not fully refined. But when you fully refine this stuff, the base knowledge and talent takes it to here. So I think one of the key things that people will be shocked outside Africa is that Africans have always been about luxury. The way Africa is projected is like I said, why would you sell luxury to them? But if you enter designer shops for the last 25 years, the Nigerians are all over that. Yeah, so luxury, going back the last 1,000 years, luxury, we're associated with luxury, gold, ivory. I'm from Onitsha. You carry ivory as a sign of royalty. Yeah. So Enyi is the sign. It's also the name of a chief, but it's also the name of the elephant in Igbo. Do you get what I'm saying? So these things are embedded in our DNA already, but people sometimes seem to think we started doing it in 2010 or 2012. Or I said, no. Africans have always been about this, but maybe we haven't had the right opportunities to showcase our products and our services. But it's coming to that time when, in 25 years' time, it may not be about Giorgio Armani and Versace. It might be about a couple of designers out of Lagos or Enugu. Or
we're already seeing that.
That's what I'm saying.
So, but thank you so much, really. You've this has been a masterclass on the creative marketing space, the creative economy, and the industry that's behind it. I think my question would be, what do you see? We've seen music activated. I don't think anyone can question it has made the boys rich.
Very rich. It's done more than that. Yeah. I think music is the soundtrack to the fintech revolution out of Nigeria.
Exactly.
So the guys who do tech, the guys who build from Money Points to Paystack to Paga, all those companies, all those brands, Andela, everybody that built all those things, Flutterwave, the Afrobeats kids.
Yeah.
Right.
So which other one do you see unlock, the next unlock?
I think you got to look at the gaming, really. Gaming, I think, is going to be massive. Gaming and esports are going to be massive. I think fashion is already the biggest section.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen more with fashion is, as fashion and apparel connects more with the experience, then that's when you get all those things I was saying at the beginning, but none of these brands have any product. It ends immediately, right? Because, if Rihanna is making $1 billion because of Fenty, where's Arya Star's product? Do you get what I'm saying? Arya Star is the Rihanna of the next generation. She's the Beyonce of that generation. And she's not being pushed as a Nigerian artist. She's being pushed as global.
Yeah, she is.
By Universal. That's one of the reasons why they did the Maven deal, is the youth of Rema and Arya Star. We can ride this wave for another 10 years. They've already made their bet. Do you understand? So the question is, when will the Nigerian mega brands wake up and make the same bets? For Martell to put the money they've put down on Thames and Davido, it's not just a random thing. It's based on the fact that these guys are pushing product. They pushed the product so far that the product sales in Nigeria became exponential. So they now went to go and look for who are the people that best represent the aspirations behind this product to push it. And they pay them commensurate. And when Nigerian brands begin to represent and respect our own talent the same way, then we'll see incredible deals done locally for those things. Because I would love to see, I don't see any reason why the biggest Nigerian brands are not actively chasing the biggest Nigerian talent. Who the hell else? Are we going to use foreigners to sell our product? Hell no.
I'm going to give you fire drill questions.
All right.
Quick. Do you remember the first concert you ever DJ'd?
The first concert I
what
DJ'd.
What was on your set list?
My goodness, man. The first concert I DJ'd. Man, who even told you I DJ'd?
You even said it here.
But I'm lost. I mean, I think I kind of sneaked in on. We used to do raves back in the UK. You know, I did Public Enemy into the UK in 1989.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We didn't start this thing and then come back here and suddenly wake up and say, oh, I'm going to do this. We're doing it already. So yeah, I flew Public Enemy and a bunch of other artists into the UK with a bunch of Nigerian partners and UK partners. I really can't remember. I mean, in Nigeria, there'd be many, but in the UK, it was sometime in the UK in my university days, probably playing at gigs where you had people like Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, you know, and my playlist would have been hip hop, pure, you know, minimum New Jack Swing, but 70% hip hop, a little bit of Teddy Riley on the side, but I'm hip hop.
Okay, so second question. What is currently on your playlist?
Oh, wow.
First 5.
Jay-Z's always on my playlist, right? He's always on my playlist. People that know me know that. Fela Kuti's always on my playlist, right? Facts of Life. I always have some bongo high life on my playlist. That's Peacocks International, that sort of sound. That's 3. I'm feeling Odumodu Black. I like
Really?
it. Yeah. I'm hip hop and I feel his energy. And I think he has this vibration that's actually making him a superstar. And I told his people as well, I'm a fanboy for him, for sure. And it's the same kind of way I kind of feel about this guy, even though I haven't been checking him for a minute, but Kweku.
Kweku, okay.
Yeah, out of Accra.
Ghana, yeah.
That boy's a superb artist. I think he has it all. I think he's one of the guys I look at and I'm like, these ones, I think these ones have next. You know, you have to appreciate things like Asake because it's so different, right? But he exploded so massively. But it's that combination of trance and Fuji
yeah.
and the things he's doing, and then the fact that his aesthetic is here, his aesthetic, his look is bananas. It's here. So Asake is really interesting, and I'm really interested to see what he does now. This next phase where he's kind of more independent and solo.
He has kind of redefined his...
He's more independent and solo. So the next album and the music is going to be really interesting to see where his head is at. You know, so that'd be interesting as well.
Okay. So third question. What's your most fond memory from when you were actively managing
doing the music?
Yeah.
Probably the first MTV Mamas. That felt like a rival. The first MTV Mamas were in Abuja, in the Dome.
Yeah.
2008. And we hosted the 2 official after parties with Jolly Cole, who's still running clubs in Abuja. Jolly, man, shout out to him. And this is 2008. And I remember 2 of our rappers won awards. Nedo C won Best New Artist, and Ikechukwu won Best Male Artist. That was massive validation because first of all, we were a hip hop label. So we weren't chasing pop music, which is really what Two-Faced, Mohits, P-Square were doing. And a lot of these guys came to us for us to sign them. They couldn't understand why I wasn't signing them. And I was like, man, I'm a hip hop guy. I'm really not interested in this sing-song stuff you guys are doing. Yeah, I understand it, but that's not my lane. So people are like, but these guys are making money. I said, good for them. Just that we'll help them, we activate them, we promoted them, every single one of them. We promoted them. We gave them access. We put them in places where they hadn't been before. That's the role that I'm proud to say that I played. But we're very happy with the kind of talent that we found with LD the Don, with Sasha, with Nato, Ikechuku, with Alaye. Only the real singers we had are GT, the guitar man, Dare, and YQ, right? And Jazzman, but Jazzman's more of a rapper, so do you understand?
Jazzman.
Yeah, so Jazzman's a pure rapper, man. Jazzman is another intense guy. But so for me, yeah, I think that's the way I'd answer that.
So next question, fourth one, before we go to the fifth one. And fifth is the final. Was one artist or opportunity that you missed?
Oh man, there are many. But I'll tell you a funny story that's true. And if he ever sees this, he'll confirm it. So 2019, I'm in Accra with my wife and my daughter. And my daughter wasn't even, she was there, but Afro Nation 2019. So in Accra, and Jidenna's in the VIP deck where I was standing. So I saw him across the place. I said, let me go say hi. So I didn't know I'd met him before. So I'm going over to say hi. I was like, hey, Jidenna, what's up, man? He goes, boss, what's up? And he was with old man Ebro, Hot 97, right? Whoa. So I'm like, Ebro, how you doing, man? And Jidenna's like, chief, you don't remember me? I'm like, shit, we bet? He's like, yeah. My sister and her best friend connected us and we spoke on the phone. And then I came to see you. So I'm like, your sister? He says, yeah, Jidenna grew up in Enugu.
Yes.
I'm an Enugu guy, 042, right? So Jidenna's telling me, and there's a lady called Ndidi Wuneli.
I know Ndidi.
So Ndidi's he's been like a younger sister to me. I've known her since, I can't remember when I didn't know her. So apparently Ndidi had called me, which I didn't even remember. I said, look, there's this kid called Jidenna, my friend's younger brother. Please listen to him. This thing used to happen all the time. And it still happens. So I told him, and I'm always pretty open. So I told him to come over to my office. In those days, we're in Lekki 1, in Admiralty Way, and he came over. And when he told me, I remembered, because he told me to come over, and I said, what did I say? He said, I told you my whole pitch, what I was doing. I played you some of my music, what I was doing in the States, how I was going. I'm an American citizen. I said to him, listen, 90% of these guys here are trying to get to America. They're trying to get to your status of being a citizen, of being able to move freely. You're already in America. You're on the edge of the ecosystem. You might well get signed on that side. So I don't think you need to come back and do anything here. Just keep doing what you're doing, stay consistent, and if you can put some elements of what is happening here into your sound, I think it will pay you. Don't be like these Nigerians who went forward without the 200 million Nigerians. I mean, to me, that's madness. You got 200 million Nigerians, carry them with you. Wherever you go, when you enter the room, you don't come solo, you come with the 200 million. Everybody respects numbers. It's not a game, right? So he was like, so I said, is that what I said? He said, yeah, that's what you said. I said, okay, so I was right. Because, yeah, you were right. I said, thank God. So it's not like I dissed you or something, because he was talented. He had the look, but, there's no way of telling. But there are artists. I remember Yemi Alade is another one. She was in a girl group, and they came with her manager, a guy called Ernest. Really nice guy, strong crew. They had a crew in Ikeja or something, skateboarders, graphic artists, and he was fanatical about this girl group. They were like 16, 17. It came to us. We sat there, me and Tola listened to them. I listened to them. I remember telling him, I said, look, I think two of them have big chance. And Yemi was one of the two. I'm not sure about the other two, but I think there's a solo star here. And that's where you should focus. I don't think it's a girl group. So I think they're not strong enough as a group, but this one, the energy's there. And here we are, Bracket is another one.
Bracket.
I missed out on them because they had their demo with us or something for a minute. You know how you have all sorts of music, and it was like, and one day we heard the thing on radio. We're like, oh wait, did we have those guys? So yeah, and they had exploded. So you can't get everybody right.
You can't, yeah.
And hey, look, for me, I just know that as much as possible, I never give real talent bad energy. Do you understand? That's the thing I don't want to do. I don't want to give anybody negative energy. So I don't want a situation where, people are looking at things and thinking that, oh, I can't approach him. I can't talk to him.
So, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Man, I don't even know, but I think one of the things I remember, my brother will not appreciate me saying this, but it's just happened to us together, right? Back in the day, we're in a nightclub, and this is a classic, man. We're in a nightclub, and this is like 2001 in New York, and nightclub's called Nell's. It's the Wednesday night. Nell's one of these like basement clubs.
Okay.
So anybody who went to New York back in the day, they knew that Nell's was like an underground, not underground, middle class people, but it's a hip hop club. So we're in the club, but one of the things those days, when the basketball ballers enter the club, it's over. All those girls you were talking to, they see you no more. Film, everybody's gone. So we're at the bar, and there's some American girls, black girls talking around us. I think we were interested in them or trying to talk to them, something like that. And my guy, and for some silly reason, guys do these things. We're young, we all decided we're wearing blazers to go to the club. Out of London, we're gonna give them the London accent. We're in blazers, so we're gonna make it very clear, we're not these other guys, right? We're not your local niggas, we're not your local guys that you see every day. We're coming a bit different. So we're in there. Somebody was probably wearing a cravat or something. I can't even remember, but we're just coming on that level. And this girl, so my guy is trying to talk to this girl, and I'll never forget what she said. To me, it became like mantra. So my guy tried to talk to the girl like, hey, what's up? In a club, it's loud, you can't really hear. So like she couldn't really hear what he was saying. And he was trying to say something, maybe a quick line that's clever, that'll make her turn around, oh, can I buy you a drink or whatever. And she just turned around and said to him, my guy, don't talk about it, be about it. And I was like, God damn, that's cold. But I never forgot it. And I just felt like, that's a real thing to live by.
Don't talk about it,
Don't talk about it, be about it. So I'm happy. Get it done. Let them, it's better they said you did it and it didn't work, that you didn't try, you didn't do it at all. Do you understand? So I'm proud of the fact that we did it. And we don't have to be the ones that brought it here, but without us, it couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like when last week I saw Kenny Ogumbe. Every time I see Kenny, I'm like, Kenny, they gotta salute you, man. Do you know how many people Kenny was motivating? Just by being on AIT and doing primetime jams and just going out there doing the Grammys thing. His big person. Kenny released a rap record when he was like 57 or 55. I remember Kenny was rapping on the record. I was calling him. I was like, bro, man, you're rapping. But it's just his energy, right? That energy is real. It's authentic. And people thought that, Storm is competing with Kenneth. We're not competing with Kenneth. We're building. Everybody building. Two-Face, I put Two-Face on MTV first. Not because of anything, because he was Nigerian. My agenda was Nigeria. It wasn't about my label. It was about Nigeria. And that's how we moved everybody. We moved over 200 artists to Channel O between 2005, 2007. Imagine if I had signed them all and put them all on a filter. That the only way you get through is us. But that's a different type of gatekeeping. I'm there to unlock the gate. Want to open it up, want to have a flood. And as you see, we've been flooding, right? We've been flooding. And our music has been the soundtrack for Africa for at least 25 years now.
Wow.
Right? At least. Yeah, because it took a long time from 05, I would say 06. We started to shut it down. 2006, Channel O Awards.
Yeah.
That's 19 years ago. Oof. And since then, it's pretty much been dominant, right? But it is actually intentional. It's not just random. It's not just some talented Nigerian kids. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of working with platforms to connect the dots, to make the doorway so you can come in and it looks easy when you come in.
Wow.
That's why I say that if I was 21 today, I'd be like, God damn, this is so sweet. It's all set up. It's easy now.
It's easier now.
So much easier.
I mean, Rema is taking over platforms in India.
Listen. Today, you don't have to say to somebody, Nigeria. I remember 2006 in London saying, I go to these Nigerian artists, they're sex symbols. The guy said, African artists, sex symbols? What are you talking about? Because that was the energy. Ain't nobody saying that in 2025. Nobody, everybody. You can see it all over social media. When all these people talk about how Nigerian guys are the best, Nigerian girls are the best, what is it? It's coming from the music.
Yeah.
It's the music energy that translates and pushes all these things across. So what you've seen, what I've seen in my lifetime is that the image or the negative image around the Nigerians dissipated by the soft power. Without anybody in government spending a dime, anybody having a plan to do it, we were doing it anyway. So we're unpaid ambassadors for our country, and we're proud to do it. And we've done it for a long time, and we'll keep doing it, you know? And every time I see our people out there representing, it's green, white, green. It's not anything else.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us now, from choreographers to dancers to musicians to artists. And that's the beautiful thing. And when you're asking me about what are the next spaces, it's so hard to say. I even left football out. I left American football out. I left basketball out. I left sports out, UFC. We are across everything. The real thing for us is, can we resolve ourselves here? Build domestic ecosystems that work across sports, fashion, music, movies, everything. When you do that, you get to that $250 billion domestic economy. Anybody that wants to jab out, good luck to them.
Thank you very much, Obi. I mean, it's been an incredible episode.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I've learned so much. I feel like I could keep going. I mean, but
I think if we don't go home, your people in the office might shoot everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you remind me so much about a guy in America called the Black Godfather. I don't know if you saw that.
His son-in-law told me that.
Really?
Yeah, his son-in-law was the CEO of Netflix, Ted Senderos.
Oh, really?
And he made the documentary. I just thought he was gassing me up, you know. But hey, I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment any day.
So
that man was a G, the G of all Gs.
He was the G of all Gs.
I think a documentary series that starts off with 3 former presidents of America talking about you says all you need to. I mean, even if you didn't know who the guy was, you just start with that and you're like, what? Yeah. What's it? Clarence, what's his name again?
Clarence
Avant.
Avant, yeah.
And he had a record label called Avant as well.
Yes. And he was like,
what a guy. What a guy.
He was just the guy.
What a guy. Yeah.
Just got me.
But I have similar, I'm similar in the sense that a lot of my friends fight me that, oh, you give away too many freebies. You shouldn't do that. No. Stop talking, I beg. And I'm like, bro, if we don't talk, it's not going to come alive. I've never believed that you can just steal my IP because you don't really know what I'm saying. Yeah. You're only hearing a little snippet of it. But if I inspire you to go and do something great, that's why I look at it, you know? And if a bit of it comes back to me, even better. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and not express myself because I'm afraid that you might take it. I'm hoping you take it and ride with it. And then one day you can call me and say, hey, oh God, see what happened, man. Great. I mean, that's why when I see Asa and Bizzle, you cannot meet a happier person than me. You know, I mean, these are like my sons. So what do I want more than them to be successful? Do you understand? Is that one of the things, I saw something the other day on Instagram I thought was so deep. It was Steve Harvey talking about his father dying. And he said something like, you know, when your father dies, you realize the only man that wanted you to be better than him just died. And that's just so true. That's so real. Because no man really wants you to be better than him.
Yeah.
He wants you to do well. I can feel good for you, but I don't want you to be better than me. But your father wants you to be better than him. True. Right? I want my sons to be better than me. And those ones are my sons. Yeah. And they've done incredible things. I tell people all the time, I said, Obi, you made it for... I said, nah, they made it themselves, man. We gave them a pathway. We gave them opportunity. We gave them access. We brought them into it. But hey, it's a grind. You know this. You've been here. How long have you been doing this?
Like 12 years now. It's
a grind. 12 years of overnight success, right?
Yeah. Officially 10.
So overnight success after 10 years, that's what happens. So people start saying, who are you? How did it happen? It happened because you were diligent and transparent. And therefore people can deal with you and come back to you and say, oh, he's still here. He's still doing this thing. I know that guy. He does this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now you're doing reality shows, you're doing this, you're doing that. They don't know how it happened. True. But the people who are working with you know why. Yeah. That's it now. It's consistency and value. These are the two things now. People talk about, oh, they want to make money. I say, if you want to make money, bring value.
Yeah.
Value is what makes money. Every other thing, people have ideas, but can you execute? You know, that's the hardest thing. Can you execute?
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Pow.
Thank you very much, Jacoby. I really
man.
appreciate this episode. It's been phenomenal. Thank you guys for joining us in this conversation. It was phenomenal. Like I told you, you got what I told you. It was just electric. You know, thank you so much for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, that's the way you keep this channel going, and that's the way you encourage us to keep doing what we do. Catch you on the next episode.